Hey everybody, what's up? Mike Mayer here, Off the Mike Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Interesting day on Thursday in the world of AEW because listen, I I don't know what else to say in regards to this company where you know they're finding new lows to reach, and yet their fan base just continually finds excuses for, reasons that I can't even comprehend, um, that everything's okay. And today, the vice chair of the AEW Defense Club is Dave Meltzer. I've said on this channel, Dave Meltzer, once considered one of the most respected journalists in the profession, has become a hack who sold out for Tony Khan's money, and he's doing everything he can to defend it. So AEW, as we've talked about here on the channel, completely bombed their 300th episode. 584,000 total viewers, 0.16 in the 18 to 49 demo. Dave Meltzer always likes to make excuses. So let me read you guys this tweet that came about 7 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. So he basically said the rating, it was behind U.S. national soccer. Okay, soccer in this country, very popular. U.S. is going to be playing for a Gold Cup over the weekend, which is very cool. Major League Baseball. I think my Cleveland Guardians were playing the Chicago Cubs. So hey, and the Guardians are not a good baseball team right now. They've lost 7 in a row. Fox News, no shock. Fox News, I mean, Trump being on television. And then this interesting little blip and an HGTV show in hour 2. You mean to tell me that AEW Wrestling lost to an HGTV show? What? This is worse than getting bumped for an Avengers movie. You lost to the Home and Garden channel? A professional wrestling show with John Moxley, and I mean, I know John Moxley's not, but Mercedes Moné and all these top stars that are getting paid inordinate sums of money can't even draw 600,000 viewers and can't outdraw the Home and Garden television network? What? And you think your company is okay, sickos? Like U.S. national soccer, Fox News, I can understand that. Maybe some baseball. Baseball has been up there. I mean, Cubs are a popular team, but really, the 300th episode of Dynamite. Just 2 weeks ago, you were at like 725. Where did those 150,000 viewers go? And then you mean to tell me that one of the reasons you lost because you're the PR guy really is Dave Meltzer says HGTV beat out AEW Dynamite. And you don't see that as a problem? Really? You don't? If you're Tony Khan, I don't know how you spin that. And the fact that Dave Meltzer even mentioned HGTV as a reason and even threw that out there, that is just bonkers to me. I don't even know what the hell goes on on the HGTV network. I couldn't tell you a single show that goes on that network. They didn't even mention the show in this tweet, Dave Meltzer. Seriously, all I try to preach here on this channel is that people are not watching. The shows may be good to the sickos, but that's all they're good to. They're just wrestling, and you're 10 days out from your biggest show of the year. It's your 300th episode, and you are being outdrawn by a network that that the average person cannot name a single show that is on that network. And you mean to tell me that nothing's wrong with this place? And yet some sickos will say, hey, considering the circumstances we did, okay. Guys, the only, U.S. national soccer and baseball, and then Fox News. Okay, I'm willing to see that out as a reason why maybe your ratings might be down a little bit. But considering where you were a couple weeks ago, that's just inexcusable, man. Is Lucha Libre that much of a draw? Maybe they should go to Mexico all the time. But guys, I keep trying to preach this every single time that I come on and do this when I talk about AEW, is the talent roster is so deep there. The booking sucks. The wrestling matches that they continue to put out is great wrestling. That's awesome. But nobody is watching. Nobody is watching. And if you're talking to me and Tony Khan earlier in the week is basically talking about, hey, we're having the best year we've ever had. We've grown. When, for your 100th episode, you had over 1 million people watching. Yet for your 300th episode, you have less than 600,000 watching. And your biggest show of the year 2 years ago, 80,000 people were there. You barely crossed 20. A quarter of your audience you've lost. I understand US, UK, a little bit different, but you also booked the baseball stadium clearly having in mind to fill up at least 30, 35,000 people into that stadium. I mean, for God's sake, WWE booked a baseball stadium in Rogers Center in Toronto for Elimination Chamber and got 30,000 people. I understand WWE is a different company, but still, when you have the talent base that they do, the lack of experience and the lack of amount of time, really the excuse is voided. It's just either your people cannot draw, your booking sucks, or both. And then all I hear every single week when something doesn't look right is there's an excuse or there's this caveat. But Dave Meltzer just told you and told the fans, and because he's like literally the PR guy, said that HGTV beat out Dynamite. Not just any Dynamite, the 300th episode of this show that has been running since 2019. And I've watched every single episode of this show. It couldn't even beat a taped NXT. A taped NXT. What more evidence do you need that this company needs help? And they refuse to get help. They refuse to change what they're doing. They are so dead set in being a niche product, and then they talk all this big game, they talk all this bullshit, they pick fights with other people, and then they expect everybody to be all happy and feel sorry for them when shit goes their way because, hey, we're getting, Tony Khan comes out in the media, says, yeah, WWE's the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling. Listen, I'm going to be the first to tell you guys, WWE has not been great this year. Wrestling in general in 2025 has been pretty average. Considering what WWE had to work with at the start of the year with the John Cena final year run, and then, obviously the John Cena heel turn and everything that's gone into it, him getting number 17, this has not been a good year. WrestleMania 41 was kind of a flop outside of a couple of matches. And yet still, I feel much better about WWE than I do about AEW. Because AEW, given all of the stuff, all the hype, all the hoopla, all the PR that, Tony Khan has done, you're getting beaten out by HGTV. And you don't see that as a problem? Don't even give me this Max excuse. There's evidence everywhere that there's not nearly enough evidence to back up that is a large chunk of your audience watching on Max. That is probably at least the third and maybe even lower streaming provider out in the marketplace. WWE's got a show on Netflix, which is the most, subscribed to streaming platform in the world, I think. And everybody just wants to focus on, viewership dropping. I don't get why, remember when everybody was freaking out, when Vince McMahon was running things? Why can't we have the same type of conversation when it comes to AEW? Because even though they did have a great show, nobody watched. And everybody's telling me, who cares? We had great wrestling. You're not growing the place. This is supposed to be about your boss. Your head honcho, Tony Khan, is basically telling everybody, hey, this is the greatest year we've ever had. And there's no evidence to back that up. And then, like I said, you're losing to a channel that the average person, including me, cannot name one single solitary show that is happening on that network. Yet for some reason, in the second hour of the show, it beat out Dynamite. That is inexcusable. That is a new low of many lows that have come in the recent years for AEW. I'll keep saying this until somebody figures it out. I mean, I know I have a small channel to subscribe to, but I know there's other bigger platforms that have been clamoring for this too. So let me get on board with these people and just so basically say, listen, fix it. Because I want to see this place be successful. There's a lot of good people working there, but it's not working. Okay. The facts are there. Stop ignoring it, rip the band aid off, and do whatever you can to change things up to make this thing more tolerable and get more people watching your product. Because clearly, people would rather watch the HGTV. 300th episode, and that happened. You kidding me? Really? All right. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. See you guys soon. Bye bye.